Welcome back to Hawkeye Skunkworks. I am Joe, and in today's episode, we are going to do some arts and crafts. Stay tuned. We are going to do something that has never been done before. The cheapest 3rd gen Toyota 4Runner in the entire country. I have bought another 4Runner. And that, my friends, is one of the greatest parts about being here. Now, if you couldn't tell what I was doing by that quick little clip, you obviously don't follow me on Instagram. So when the video's over, click that link down below because I put some pictures up earlier in the week of what we were going to be doing, and what we are doing is cutting out new inner fender guards, mud guards for the 4Runner. And what we've got going on here is, so these are some printouts, and I will link that down below as well. It's a message board. You'll have to scroll down. There's a couple different options for download. The ones that I used were for your standard printer with standard size paper. There's lines where you cut and match the lines up, tape them together, and then you have your template. There are 3 templates that print out because the rear mudguard on both sides is exactly the same. It would just be mirrored from side to side. So I am doing this because I don't know if you're going to be able to guys pick that up on camera. These things are shot. They've been through so many heating and cooling cycles. They are all like stretched out of shape and sagging, and this one, I don't know what the heck happened there. That's weird. So you can just buy a new set of these. You can hop online. There's a company that makes heavier duty aftermarket ones, and honestly they're not expensive. I almost bought a set, but then I remembered that I had seen this template somewhere, and turns out that my dad had an old truck bed mat, which is what we're going to be cutting them out of. They do have markings on them, front left, front right, but they did not have the arrows to tell you which way is facing forward, which when you have a material that's different on each side and you want a certain texture facing a certain direction, that's important. So I went ahead and marked them. They're marked with the holes. I went ahead and punched them out with a paper punch so that I can mark these later. But I tried to get the holes in the lower spots of the mat just so it's thinner. That didn't work out in every spot. Unfortunately, there's not enough flat real estate to do that on, but not too big of a deal. I cut one out already. The outer part, getting the outside, is not like super important to get it 100% perfect. What's going to be important to get perfect or pretty close is the hole orientation, so that you can actually clip it in place without it, wanting to shift constantly or be wrinkled. This is a little bowed just because this mat was rolled up. I'll probably set these next to the space heater or something. Moving on to punching the holes, like I said, I already used a paper punch to punch the holes in here. On the car, I checked them with a drill bit. It seems to be the hole is just a little bit bigger than 1/4 of an inch, so whatever the metric equivalent of that is, I assume, since it's a Japanese car. To get the holes, what I used was one of these chisel punches. I have a whole set of these from Harbor Freight. I know we all secretly love Harbor Freight, some more than others, but what we all double love is tools from Harbor Freight that actually work. These punches, these chisel punches that I have, work awesome. I honestly didn't expect it to punch through this. 2 hits with medium-sized ball peen hammer on a solid wood surface, and like butter. And it didn't really shrink the hole too much. I've used these punches on leather, like leather belts and other pieces of leather. Kydex punches right through it, no problem. Just take a little a punch or screwdriver or whatever and pop what you've cut out, and it works really, really well. Alright, so that ended up being a fail, at least the way that I was doing it. I guess let's just point the camera over at the bench with the old mud flap, or the old liner, the new liner, the template, and kind of take a look at what the issue was. Alright, I've got so this is the front right, facing forward, front passenger, the one in front of the wheel. I've got the template, the piece that I cut, and the old one. Now, I mentioned earlier that I punched these holes a little bit bigger than the pins just so I would have a little bit of wiggle room to get them lined up. Well, out of all of these that I've done, I can get one, maybe two of the holes to come even close. And I think, so what I think the issue is, take these for example, this is the rear part. You can see where it's got some sag a little bit at the bottom. So if I do the front, the top hole, and I would show you this, but the only way that you're gonna be able to grasp it is if I jack it up, take the wheel off, and do a bunch of lighting, and then you're still not gonna be able to tell any better. The hole should be about a ½ inch higher. So this is stretched, sagged, and when I line up the paper, the holes are close, pretty darn close, which leads me to believe that probably whoever made these templates and put them online, and I'm not blaming them at all, probably flattened out their old used ones, which were already stretched out of shape, made the template, and it's kind of pointless. Now that being said, I'm saying that because I assume when these were new, there was no flop, there was no play, they were pretty much taut and snug all the way around. Maybe they were kind of loose and bent and stuff, I don't know. I certainly am not going to go to all the trouble to do this, to cut out another set, to put something on that's basically the exact same, because that's why I took them off, because they looked terrible and they were flopping around. Now I know this is what I'm going to do. I have these templates already. The shapes are good, so I am going to, I went ahead and bought a set of clips off of Amazon. They're way cheaper than I thought. I think it was 12 bucks for 240 of these, plus the little tool to get them out. I'll link this down below. They seem like they're fairly decent quality. I am going to continue doing this. I am going to use these paper templates. I'm going to punch new holes, do trimming wherever I need to do so that these fit. I'm going to find some different material because the bed mat is just too thick. I really wanted to use it because I thought it'd be heavy duty, but I just don't think it's feasible. And then I will trim these in the original positions, copy them, and make a PDF file, and then whoever wants them, I'll send them to you. That will come in a later video. That's, I'm annoyed. I don't like starting a project that I really think that I'm going to finish on a certain day, and then I don't get to finish it. So there's that. Down below, I will also link a couple places where you can buy some heavier duty aftermarket ones and some OE replacement ones, I think, off Amazon. And like I said, they're not that expensive. I partially did this just to save a couple bucks. I spent money on the clips, and I'm going to spend money on some mat, and I'll still come out ahead, especially since I'll have a ton of extra clips. But I wanted to make a video, and kind of the DIY thing seems to be my MO around here. So we will wrap the video up there. Sorry I didn't have better results, but at least anybody who's watching this and thinking about doing it and maybe saw these plans and printed it out and then, you know, Googled watching a video of somebody doing it, you know that it probably isn't going to work out the first time around. So if you aren't subscribed to the channel already, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button, give the video a thumbs up, and click that notifications. Every Sunday night video comes out. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook, those links down below if you want to get a hold of me for anything more detailed than this, or questions on any other projects that I've got going. Skunkworks merch, email me, hawkeyeskunkworks@gmail.com. And until next week, that about wraps it up. Take care, thank you for watching, goodbye.